Good evening, fellow Biafrans, men and men of goodwill and of good conscience. This is a very live broadcast, a very short one this evening. First of all, Merry Christmas and prosperous, hitch-free New Year to all men and women of goodwill and of good conscience from around the world. This short broadcast is not for human eaters. This short broadcast is not for cannibals in Biafraland. This short broadcast is not for IPONC, indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu, who have elevated freedom fighting to cannibalism, who have elevated freedom fighting to killing of Igbo Biafrans and eating their meat, who have elevated freedom fighting to unimaginable crime against humanity. We are saying no to all of them, and we do not for 1 second accept that it is foreigners, that it is aliens who are committing all manner of heinous activities that have been ravaging our land, that have turned the land of Biafra, and especially the Igbo part of Biafraland, to a land of horror and terror, to criminality, to land of gun running. We warned against all this. And the Most High God will bear us witness. Before any advent, we will hand over this proceeding into the hands of the author and finisher of our lives, the Most High God, to come and take pride of place in our midst, to indeed direct the affairs of this evening, that everything we do, everything we say will be according to his ordinance. We ask you, the Most High God, to go before us, to go behind us, to cover your people, the people of Biafra, to cover conscientious men and women from around the world who have dedicated themselves to this cause. With your presence, with your protection, that you turn the pit holes and the dog and the potholes that they have dug for us into graveyards for them. Set confusion into the camps of these enemies of ours who have been plotting against us spiritually and physically. May their evil plot turn around and be their affliction. May confusion continue to rule their lives. May they continue to speak in hostile, antithetical, divergent languages among themselves, that they will never agree, and eventually that they will expose themselves by themselves. Do this for us. Remove the dent that has been heaped on the Biafra Restoration Project by the indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu, the people who have turned Biafran struggle into criminality. It will take us years. It will take unimaginable effort to undo the mess that they have done. They are claiming to be your sons and daughters. They are claiming to be the people who have seen tomorrow. But they are indeed the people who are deceiving our people, killing our people, eating their meat. Something that has never happened in decades, if not centuries. They are taking us back. Our values are being turned upside down. Have mercy on your people and restore the land of Biafra. Cleanse our land. Bring up men and women of truth and of good conscience. Impress it upon our elders, the religious leaders, the government officials, community leaders who are in position of authority to make sure that they are doing their work. Our land has been turned into a land where perpetrators of all manner of evils are being celebrated, protected, and indeed projected, while their victims, who are vulnerable by every standard, are being traumatized all the more, victimized all the more, and condemned That is not our value. That is not who we are. And we shall stand to make sure that the kingdom of darkness will not overshadow the kingdom of light. That is what we are here for. And we ask you to give us the strength, the courage, the determination not to waver until Biafra is restored. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Give us victory and take the glory. May the souls of our gallant heroes and heroines who have paid the ultimate price that we will have our freedom, that this freedom will be a reality. Continue to rest in your bosom until you all meet to part no more. Accept their souls and give us every courage to continue to move on until this project is accomplished. To this we say amen and amen and amen. Ise, Ise, Ise. My name is Uche Mefor. I am from Abatete. Abatete is in Idemli. Idemli is in Omambra. Omambra is in Biafraland. I am reaching you from London, and it's taking a while. But it is not for any other reason, but for strategic one indeed, because when things are happening, you need to step back in order to observe, to know what is authentic and what is not authentic. And we can categorically confirm that the people who are always upfront, destroying the characters of others, calling people names, the people who are always able at any particular point in time to label others saboteurs, indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu. These are the people destroying the land of Biafra. These are the people turning our land into land of cannibalism, land of horror and terror, land of kidnapping, land of gun running, land where abomination is the order of the day, land where good men and women have been suppressed and they are no longer talking, land where the people who are now having the upper hand are the criminals in our society, the people who are killing and eating human beings, the people who are intimidating and issuing threats every minute of the day, the people who are locking our people inside and forcing them to do everything they do against their will, the people who hypocritically came out to tell us that they are fighting for our freedom, the people who are at the forefront of crying that Nigeria is destroying our lives, that Nigeria is committing all manner of crime, genocide, crimes against humanity, inhumane treatment, and all manner of them directed against us. These are the people that have turned around and they are even outperforming Nigeria in committing crime against the people that they are claiming to liberate. What a hypocrisy. What a pretentious life, I must say. We are not going to keep quiet. For avoidance of doubt, indigenous people of Biafra are a good people, a good group of people. These are people that comprise these nations of Biafra. We must make a distinction from indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu who are going all out to turning our land into what we are not used to. We must not keep quiet. We must make bold to say it the way it is. We must make bold to prove them beyond reasonable doubt that they are people from the kingdom of darkness or people who have been taken over by kingdom of darkness. It is either that where they are. These are the evil men of our time. They pronounce death on people. They pronounce all manner of evil on people, but they are the people who think that they are those who are closer to God. They see God, they commune with God every day, not knowing that for the gullible whom they are deceiving, they are the people who are actually perpetrating all manner of evil against our people. What happened in the last quarter of last year, from the last quarter of last year up until this period, has been unimaginable. A situation whereby people who projected themselves as people of light have actually gone out there to prove themselves deceitful, and who have been putting ourselves and our people in a hellish condition we are today, can no longer be allowed to continue. They say if you say it, you are destroying the struggle. Let that struggle be destroyed if it means us telling ourselves the truth. Without truth, we are going nowhere. Now, they can started all this by lying that Radio Biafra was sold. But of course, we knew that he was planning something beyond any other person's imagination. He lied on a live broadcast that Radio Biafra was sold, that the person in charge of Radio Biafra has sold it to Nigeria, and he was making reference to myself. Before then, he had organized the media platforms that we had in IPOB then to go against my very self and a number of others. Mazobi Obienu, Nwokenkwo, and the rest of them, Mazi or Jojo, a lot of them. And then before then, you had people in Biafraland who could not speak for themselves and whom they are destroying. They are using command and control to suppress. We asked a lot of questions. We set up internal inquiries. They tried everything they did to suppress it. We continue to ask questions until we left them. We told Nnamdi Kanu that the DOS he was presiding over at the time, and who are still there, the members are still there, are not fit for purpose. And these are criminally minded individuals. We had our evidence. If they want us to, dance in the public, we dance. But of course, it's not necessary because of issue of trust. We have our evidence. It was a long, convoluted process that we underwent, trying to iron out things, in trying to making sure that this restoration project is guided and guided to its logical conclusion. It got to a point when we noticed that the people we are dealing with do not have conscience. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being their leader. Nnamdi Kanu jettisoned every other person that had the interest of IPOB. All of us made him to lead. It was very clear that he was not actually moving with the same people that he started that journey with. He started making contact with outsiders, people who do not know anything about IPOB, people who do not know anything about the struggle. These are the same group of people that put him in trouble that he is in today. The people who are promising him money, $100,000, including those who want to sell their houses in the United States of America. People who are actually not having the interest of the struggle at heart. They derailed Nnamdi Kanu, and because he was amenable to, I don't know, whatever they are promising him, he went with them Today we are seeing a lot of things, and more are still coming up. World Igbo Congress and their officials must not be exonerated from this mess that the land of Biafra, and especially the Igbo part of Biafraland, is immersed in today. These people are criminally complicit in what is happening because they were the people sponsoring Nnamdi Kanu, sponsoring IPOB, and they were embarking on all manner of criminality in Biafraland. Go and take our broadcasts around this time last year up until this period. We said all that we could say. We were called saboteurs. They went ahead saying Uche Mefor, he masterminded the MNA massacre of our people. But these guys, Nnamdi and his brother, Kanu Takanu, and the rest of them, they were the people controlling the so-called volunteers in collaboration with those in Biafraland. And then the criminal now, who is running his mouth in the DOS of Nnamdi Kanu, Chinasa Nworu, the man that hides every time, the man whose character will forever be questionable. He is the man they are using, and he's masterminding all the killings in Biafraland. If they don't know what command structure is, IPOB, IPONC, Indigenous People of Nnamdi Kanu, has a command structure, and the hierarchy of positions in IPOB makes it very, very susceptible to be, the candidate for ICC, for avoidance of doubt. You're calling Nigeria. We all know that Nigerian government officials have been committing crime against humanity and forced disappearances and all that. But you people are equally candidates at the appropriate time. If ICC, International Criminal Court, is going to address Nigeria's case today, with reference to Biafra, all of you in this present DOS of Nnamdi Kanu, Directorate of State of Nnamdi Kanu, IPONC, you will not escape justice. And I am putting myself forward as well to answer for anything that anybody can throw at me. I want to be responsible for what I'm responsible for. Let another man or group of people be responsible for what they are responsible for. But let no man ascribe his own or their own responsibility to me. That is where I will say no. And that is what has brought us where we are today. A lot of injustices going on, a lot of rubbish. IPOB that was led by Nnamdi Kanu, to which we were part of at the time, started very well. In fact, I don't want to be boasting, but you cannot write the history of IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu from 2013 up until last quarter of last year without mentioning Uche Mefor and Obi Debion and Clifford Ivanya, Uche Nasiwa, and the rest of them, Imams, so many of us. There are a lot of issues in between lines, of course, but we know what happened at any particular point in time. But it has not led to the total destruction of the movement itself. The person who has been destroying, bringing individuals in collision course has been Nnamdi Kanu. The, the question everybody should be asking is, why is it that Nnamdi Kanu is the only righteous person? He's every time right in whatever he does. He has never gone wrong. What he does is that he uses people, he sacrifices people's character, he destroys people's reputation in order for him to climb. His desperation is out of this world, but that is a story for another day. I don't want to make direct reference to him because he cannot respond to me at the moment. I have always said that I don't have any problem with anybody at all in IPOB. that I was part of, other than Nnamdi Kanu. The person I have issue with is Nnamdi Kanu, and he remains a person of interest. At the moment, there is no point talking about him. I want him to come out so that he will see the consequences of the mess that he has put himself and people in, and to which I and many other people were called saboteurs. Now they kind of wanted to prove each and all one of us wrong. He launched ESN through the ill advice of World Igbo Congress and the Ambazonian people who are killing their people as we speak, against all wise counsel. And this is where everything has led everyone into. We warn that this ESN is going to metamorphose into militia groups, a standing army for one man. And at some point, they are going to carry guns, weapons of warfare, and turn it against other people. We warned against all this. Go and watch listen to our broadcast. We didn't see all this when we were saying it, but common sense demands that a project of this kind needs the collaboration and consent of important stakeholders. Nnamdi Kanu did not observe the due process. He did not observe the due diligence. He didn't do the due diligence that he's supposed to. And he knew that he was going to fail. The only thing, gouging him on was false hope that people were giving to him, and his arrogance. And people who are deceiving him, who are today calling themselves members of the DOS, the fit for nothing group of people, criminally minded individuals. If they are not criminally minded, why is it that they have presided over the carnage, the killing, the destruction of lives and property in Biafraland, and especially in the Igbo part of Biafraland as we speak today? There are so many things. I am just touching one or two things and then going into others because I have a lot of things to say. And it's not going to take, just one broadcast to deal with. We kept quiet for a while. Let these people come out with what they have come out with. Let them not think that we have kept quiet, because a lot is going to come up with forensic evidence to support what we are saying. They called us names. Nnamdi Kanu, on his part, told his followers that he wants Uche Mefor, after dealing with him, that he will not come out again on the street. Anytime Uche Mefor talks on broadcasts or sends any message, let everybody, all the media platforms, let them go and be talking bad about what he's saying and raising all manner of founded and unfounded allegations. That is what they have been doing for a while. And we kept faith, because what goes up must come down, and nature abhors Viking. I told Nnamdi Kanu and his fit for nothing, not good for purpose members of the DOS, that since they sow lie, that they will reap lies. Since they sow insubordination, they will reap insubordination. Since they sow treachery, they will reap treachery. This I-punk is going to disintegrate into criminal gangs. It's as simple as that. Because you know what? They have offended the spirit of the land. Very soon, I am not just saying it for saying sake. Very soon, anybody associated with IPOB in the diaspora will be running away when that name is mentioned. If you doubt what I'm saying, just look around you, you see what will be happening. I have not personally done anything, but IPOB is bound to fall, collapse under the weight of its atrocities, masterminded of late by Nnamdi Kanu and the not fit for purpose members of the DOS, criminally minded individuals, I must say. It will happen so that they will learn that treachery does not pay, and that blackmail and lies against the innocent do not pay. It will happen because I am involved and I have withdrawn my blessings on IPOB or from IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu. It will happen because Nnamdi Kanu lied, and you don't lie against the spirit. It will happen because men and women have sacrificed to put Nnamdi Kanu where he is. And unless he begins to confess and begin to make amends, a lot of things are going to happen, because the spirit of the land is angry with what they have done. Abomination upon abomination, crime against humanity upon crime against humanity have been committed against the people and against the land. If they like, let them fill the airwaves with all manner of lies. All those lies are going to collapse, and they are collapsing already. There are people they contracted, and I'll begin to mention names very soon. This man they called Odejinjin, the man that does not have conscience. He sings for anyone that gives him money. That man shall not be well with him. It's as simple as that. Whatever he has done, we go after him. The mouth with which he mentioned Uche Mefor, that mouth, he will use it to confess. The criminal in Turkey that they call Onyemaechi or whatever he calls himself, that guy, nature will deal with him. The lies that he have heaped against innocent people will turn around and destroy him. Just naturally, the lies against innocent people by that guy will turn around and destroy him. The same goes to all these young ladies that they are paying to talk or say all manner of things, the things they know and things they don't know, that they have used to defame the character of people. All of them are going to reap from the evil that they have committed. Nature abhors vacuum, and what goes up must come down. As for what is happening to IPOB now, it will continue to happen, because when you tell one lie, it will take you double or triple another quality of lie to overcome the first one, to sustain the first one. That is just what is happening. Nnamdi Kanu used lie and blackmail to drive away all the people that would have provided him with the needed support at any time, come rain, come shine. The people that would have held IPOB, led by Nnamdi Kanu together, they have all left. And then Nnamdi Kanu, I told him, and it's on record, that he was under siege and that he will see what he's done to himself, as if we saw tomorrow. May the Most High God have mercy. Now, I'm just trying to touch on, important areas that we're going to come back to, not in this broadcast, but we have to have detailed analysis of issues regarding all this. Whatever is happening to or has happened to Nnamdi Kanu, these present gangsters in the DOS of Nnamdi Kanu have 70 to 80% contribution to it. And they shouldn't be sounding sanctimonious These are the criminally minded individuals that convinced Nnamdi Kanu, that gave him all manner of information, wrong information that he was using to destroy people's character. But there are the ones he knows, Nnamdi Kanu knows, and which he orchestrated himself. Nobody can offend the spirit of the land and go scot-free. It doesn't matter the amount of intervention. These people, unless they begin to make amends and make confessions, of course, they will have to be confessing directly or indirectly. There is no going forward. What is happening to these people today is an example, and it will continue. Forget about the shenanigans, the bold face that they are putting up. They are just lying to themselves. There is serious crisis in IPONC, Indian School of Nnamdi Kanu. There is serious problem there. The pretense cannot do it. Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother, Kanunta Kanu, a very devilish man indeed. Only God will judge you. And then his in-law, called Master Prophet, only God will judge all of you. But in no time, a lot of things will come out. The one they call me is Nnenyanya. I'm calling you people. I don't mince words. When I do that, I do that. You will see what you've done to yourself. Nature will take care of all of you, because you cannot be supporting evil and lying and then you continue like that. What goes up must come down. These people are the people deceiving Nnamdi. Of course, Nnamdi knows what he was doing. They are the people gouging him on in his arrogance, and put it that way. They give him hope. And then with outsiders that are bankrolling him. All of you, you will see what you've done to yourselves. You will destroy yourselves by yourselves. We can only die once. Then the officials of the World Igbo Congress, these men who are pretending to be custodians of good conscience in our society, these people are the people that have sponsored Nnamdi Kanu to a hilt, to be committing all manner of atrocities as we see it today. People are saying unknown gunmen and all that. Who are you people deceiving? For avoidance of that, who orchestrated, who indeed incited the so-called unknown gunmen to go into violence? Can't you hear Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast and all that? Then the elders are pretending as if they don't know what the issues are, until you begin to iron out the problem, until you begin to look at the problem itself and call it by its name. You will develop legs and wings and, hands and live among us as human. That is abomination. That is what is happening today. You people saw evil and you kept quiet, or rather you pretend. Today you are pretending that the people who are killing our people and eating their meat, that they are foreigners, that they are Fulani headsmen. What a life. Meanwhile, you are seeing those who are being arrested. These are all Igbo people, for avoidance of that. These are all Igbo people, young Igbo people, either deceived or compelled to do that. Why are you not calling a spade a spade? We are the people destroying ourselves. It is not Fulani headsmen this time around, because we know the crimes that Fulani headsmen commit, and we know the crimes that our own people commit. In this instance, as we speak, these people killing Igbo people, roasting them and eating their meat, cannibalism. These people doing this, they are not Fulani. herdsmen. So it is hypocritical for elders to come out and say, oh, these people doing this thing, we don't know where they come from. They are foreigners, they are this. Meanwhile, the people that are arrested are your sons, Igbo people. Why don't you then take a bold step and begin to address the issue? Because the more you camouflage, the more you try to pretend, the more you try to shield those who are behind it, the more they commit more. And the more they will come after you and kill all of you for avoidance of doubt. We want that leaving arms in the hands of non-state actors, albeit unregulated non-state actors, is going to bring anarchy and chaos in our land. And that it is going to lead to proliferation of armed groups. Because when you kill somebody, the person you are killing, or the people you are killing, if they don't have support from any other, for instance, from the government, they will begin to look for how to defend themselves. And before you know it, what is going to happen is that you will, have in place a gun-running society. That is what is happening. That is what is happening now. That is what will continue to happen for quite some time now, or to come. Evil is evil, abomination is abomination, and we must have to stop and deal with this issue. They have destroyed the sanctity of Biafra struggle. They have destroyed the compelling argument that the people of Biafra have against the Nigerian state. And the only way to deal with this is to isolate the perpetrators and call them by their names and provide evidence against them. The human rights of Nnamdi Kanu must be respected. The human rights of him as a detainee being subjected to all manner of inhuman and degrading treatment must be recorded. At the same time, it is very important that those his followers who are killing human beings, who are embarking on extrajudicial killings of their own people, must think twice, because they do not allow those that they are killing that chance to defend themselves. These criminally minded members of the DOS have been saying before this time, around this time last year and subsequent, that there's nothing like human rights and freedom fighting. There's nothing like democracy and freedom fighting. They castigated what we are doing and all that. But these are the same people. They even say they don't need international community. They don't need anybody to fight on their behalf and all that. They don't need Amnesty International. But today, they are the people talking about human rights. Do you see the hypocrisy in the whole thing? They are the people talking about due process. They are the people talking about violation of their rights. But they violate other people's rights with impunity. That is the hypocritical aspect of this whole thing. They kill their fellow human beings. They deny them the right to life. They deny them the right to freedom of association and freedom of expression, but they want their own to be protected. What a hypocrisy. Why are we pretending? Why are we keeping quiet over all these things? These are abominable acts that must be confronted head on. What is good for me should be good for my own fellow human being. You cannot deny people their rights, and then you want others to protect and respect your own rights. Having said that, for people who are going about, making all manner of insinuations, it is very difficult for me. I want to say it for once. It will be very difficult for me to be at the forefront of defense for Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. I will not take a fall. I won't stop anybody from making, I won't stop anybody from, defending, doing the right thing, defending the human rights of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and others being incarcerated by the Nigerian government. But I am not going to take the forefront. I will not be at the forefront. I won't oppose it, but I will not be at the forefront for avoidance of doubt. Because what these people have done is unimaginable, even as we speak. A lot of lies from them against me, against Obide, against so many people, against Mazi Onyibe, against Nwokenkwe, against all members of Biafra Nations Alliance, and then people from BNC and Bimaso. The lies are too much, propaganda too much. They made it to seem that we are the people committing the crimes that they are committing. We were going to prove them wrong. So for those who are approaching me saying, come out and do this and do protests and all that, I will not do it. I won't be at the forefront of doing it, but I will not oppose it for avoidance of doubt. Because the one I did, they turned it upside down. They said I'm working with Nigerian government, I'm working with DSS, I'm working with MI5. So let us see who is working with MI5 and DSS. And let us see those who have sold the struggle. The same thing with some other people you have accused. You want them to come out and be at the forefront and, killing themselves for you. Why you call them saboteurs and criminals and traitors? It's not possible. So I need to make my position clear on this. I stand that the human rights of all Biafrans being in Nigerian detention camps must be respected. And people should work towards making that a reality. But I am not going to take the forefront as before doing that. At the same time, those vulnerable Biafrans who IPOB under Nnamdi Kanu are violating their rights must be protected for avoidance of doubt. Because he who goes to equity must go with clean hands. Evil is evil, abomination is abomination, and we must call it by its name. If you know the one I have done, tell me. I will not fail to take responsibility. But don't come and lie against me because I will not accept it. But if you are bold enough to incite violence, the likes of China Samuel and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, inciting violence, directing violence against other people, if you are bold to say it, to command people to go and do it, you should also be bold and courageous to accept responsibility. Not when the time comes, you begin to shift it to other people. China Samuel, everything you are saying in terms of defending IPOB under Nnamdi Kanu and the ESN, they are all lies because you are neck deep into all the mess. There are a number of unsubstantiated allegations already, including the killings of prominent personalities in Biafraland. All these things must have to be subjected to detailed investigation. We must not associate ourselves with criminality. They have tried to dent our image. You expect the Nigerian state that wants you dead right from time to come and fight for you when you are the one that single-handedly destroying yourself. You want them to come and intervene and stop you. They will help you to kill yourself the more. That is why people in Biafraland who are supposed to speak up must speak up and stand their ground. Evil is evil, abomination is abomination, and there is no way the kingdom of darkness can overshadow that of kingdom of light. It is as simple as that. We all have individual and collective responsibility to make this a reality. That our society will be an egalitarian one, and that provides a level playing ground for everyone, regardless of our abilities. That is what we thought that we are trying to do, to bequeath to posterity. But unfortunately, these despicable act of DOS of Nnamdi Kanu, IPONC of Nnamdi Kanu, have set our people back to the Stone Age level where human beings are being eaten. That is unacceptable. And we cannot keep quiet. We cannot keep quiet. You cannot go and commit crimes and say that it is another person, another innocent person or group of people that did it. And then people are hailing you, Wachineke, and all that. You use the same mouth that you're praying to God with, the same mouth that you are fasting, pronouncing fasting and all that, and calling on the name of God, to at the same time lie against your fellow human beings in order that they will be destroyed. And a number of people have been destroyed as a result of that. And you people don't have conscience. You have no conscience at all. That's why you see evil and you elevate it, and where possible, you deny that you committed such evil, and then use other people to sacrifice in order for you to grow. We have gone past these levels. Anybody that called me names, albeit unjustly, will be called names, is very ironic, honestly. So when we look at what is happening now, there is no need even making any effort because the evidence is overwhelming. It is hypocritical. All of them are calling themselves saboteurs, traitors, and all that. We love our leader too much. We love him very. Where are all of you? Nnamdi Kanu is in detention. What are you doing? What are you doing? So, if you are not doing anything, does it then mean that you are working with Nigerian DSS? You're working with Nigerian politicians? You're working with MI5 for those who are here in the United Kingdom? And those in America as well, and different parts of Europe. So what are you doing? Those who would have held IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu together have all left. What is now left is the carcass. You people are living in your past glory. And we can only wait to see how far this shenanigan will take you. You have shot, wounded the spirit of the land. What we are saying to you now is that there is serious anger, spiritually and physically, against all of you. You must begin to make amends publicly by apologizing to people, by confessing the things that you people have done, rather than lying that it is other people that did it. Foreigners did not come to our land to commit these crimes. It is our people who are doing it. And 80% of the people involved in this are IPONC. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? We stand and make bold to say that the heart of this project shall never be allowed to see corruption. You may not understand what we mean, but we meant what we have said. Kanu has nobody protecting him. Kanu is vulnerable and under siege. That is what you people have proven. You have all proven it. You are after money and power. And then you lied in order to push some people out. I distance myself from IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu because of the criminality. And I made it clear because Nnamdi has no right. He does not have what it takes to take me out of IPOB. He boasted to people that he will be, Uche Mefor will be sacked and all that. But you cannot sack me because the day IPOB was formed, I was there. I registered IPOB. I was the first person that registered IPOB. And I suggested this as far back as 2012 for us to use IPOB, for us to register IPOB and use that name. Even though Barrister Emeka Emekesiri was the person that actually used that name. I mean, he coined the name, kind of. We have indigenous people, but he was the first person I know that mentioned indigenous people of Biafra. And I told them in one or two meetings that we had, let us use this name for the court case instead of Delay Human Rights Initiative. They all said no. There are evidence in emails if they can deny that. And I said, we are the indigenous people or people of Biafra. Indigenous people of Biafra or people of Biafra. Let us register it. Right? So we argued that if this name has to be used, that it will take us to go to the state houses of assembly in Biafraland for them to pass a bill for us to use it. Barrister Imam Mezu, may his soul rest in peace, argued that Uche Mefor should leave experts who know what they are doing to do what they are doing, that we should leave this work for the experts. Majority, including Dr. Gemba and the rest of them, they were not for it. And then I left it. Then when Nnamdi started having problems with Barrister Emeka Emekesiri and the rest of them, everybody deserted him. I was the only person with him. And I said, we must see this project to its logical conclusion. And then he came back to me and said, Uche, let us use that name you are talking about. Let us go by that thing you were saying. That is how IPOB was registered. Those who are making all that claims, I don't know where they're coming from, because I have a documented evidence on that. So in essence, it was after that, the Radio Biafra they are talking about, the internet Radio Biafra, I set it up. He cannot deny that. And for those who are saying, Uche Mefor took this one, my children paid the bill for IPOB and Radio Biafra from 2013-14. They are the first people that paid bills for that media and IPOB setup. Nnamdi knows, the record is there. Every other person deserted because I used the money for my children to do others. So, I mean, a lot of rubbish going on. All of a sudden, the one in Australia called Austin or Former, the devilish demon there. I'm waiting for them, honestly. The evil that they have committed, the one that goes to seers, they go to Dibia, they go to traditional medicine, doctors. And are awful. When they go there, they tell you, don't communicate with this man tomorrow or in the next 1 week. If you do that, you are going to be in trouble. Avoid him. He is a bad man. That is what destroyed IPOB, led by Nnamdi Kanu, before we left. This man called Ofoma. Ije na be dibia tọchachara ya, tọgbuo ihe, tọkarịa ihe ọzọ. Ndị na-afụ ọfụ. Nke bụ Kanu na-eje Benue, a na-eje agwọ ọgwụ. My goodness. I don't want to get into all these things, but I want to sequentially deal with things when there is need for it. We are here to do the needful. Biafra will be restored, but we must conduct ourselves responsibly and truthfully too. People are laughing at us today because of the conduct of IPONC. Insult will not do anything to me because my name is synonymous with insult. I paid the price for standing up to Nnamdi Kanu, to telling him, look, this is what should be done. And all those things that should be done, unless we are not fighting for Biafra. You cannot tell me that you're fighting for Biafra. You want to restore Biafra of the old Eastern region, but the only people in the struggle for restoration of Biafra are all Igbos, the people from the Igbo part of Biafraland. Something is wrong. I don't know, a number of proposals were made, which were rejected. That is what we are trying to do now. International law requirement of us in restoring Biafra with reference to the formation of state formation or statehood formation must be observed. All these things were jettisoned, and we must embrace the democratic process, whether we like it or not. Even if you keep shooting guns, in the end, you must have to embrace the democratic process over the territory you are claiming, which is Biafraland this time around. That is why we will not set our eyes off the ball. Our roadmap is strict adherence to the dictates of international law of ours, with reference to the Montevideo criteria on duties of states, on rights and duties of states. It states that for a state to be formed or to be created, there must be a defined territory, there must be a permanent population, there must be an effective government, and there must be the capacity to enter into international relationship with other countries. All these I made as a proposal to Nnamdi Kanu. He rejected them. He kept buying time. And I said to them, the last of my advice to them was this, that IPOB, led by Nnamdi Kanu, and by us as well, through the support of prominent men and women around the world, dedicated Biafrans, have gone to a stage where the influence is overwhelming, the people's support is overwhelming. Now is the time to embrace the political process in Biafraland and take over the political structures. That is the only way the members of the international community will begin to listen to us, because there is no way any member of the United Nations, in this case a country, will begin to deal with non-state actors that do not have influence and control over the territory that they are claiming, with reference to national liberation struggle and liberation movements. They can only talk to you if you have influence and control over the territory you are claiming. In our own case, we have a lot of clout. You can call for sit at home, you can call for civil disobedience and people will obey it. But You are at best a protest group. You are not a force to reckon with. You are not in government. You are on the periphery, on the edge. You are in the majority in that region. But the people who are taking the decision, taking the shot, are the minorities called politicians that were installed either democratically or undemocratically by Abuja. You have everything it takes. You have the number. Why don't you take over the system, the land, the territory where you are claiming? That is one of the bones of contentions or bones of contention. Now, let us have representatives from different parts of Biafraland. I even offered for me to step down for somebody from the coastal part of Biafraland to be the deputy, or for us to have multiple deputies. In that case, I will represent the Igbo part of Biafraland as a deputy. I told him, nobody is after your position. He was becoming insecure. Let us do this thing and move forward. They ignored everything. Next thing is, he's working with politicians. He's working with MI5. He's working with DSS and all that. All in a bid to destroy somebody's character and name. Today, where has he led us to? In your quiet time, you will be regretting what happened between the last quarter of this year up until this period. You all did it to yourselves, and you all must have to put up brave face and take the responsibility of your inactions and your reckless conduct. For us, we will stay where we are, and we are doing what we can to tell our people the truth. The Biafra we are looking to restore must be better than Nigeria we want to live. Nigeria we want to live cannot be better than the Biafra we are going to bequeath to posterity. That is why it is very important that our people stood up at this particular point in time, or our people stand up at this particular point in time and challenge perpetrators of all manner of evil in our land. Eating human being, albeit killing human beings that do not agree with you, your own fellow brothers, and even sisters in some cases, is unacceptable. We are not cannibals, contrary to what these people are trying to turn us into. We will remain here. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I just wanted to make a brief, lay some level of background, some kind of background on what we'll be talking about in the subsequent edition of the programs when I'm able to come online. They said that Uche Mefor died. Uche Mefor is dead and all that. I will announce your obituaries, all of you. I don't want to begin to make reference to your leader because he was the one that set you people up to be saying all those. He said that Buhari is dead. Buhari died and was buried in Saudi Arabia. He killed Buhari. His in-law also said he killed Buhari. We warned, we debated, we fell out on this issue of Buhari imports to and all that. It is one of the reasons why Nnamdi Kanu is angry. I warned you, he cannot continue with it. I will not be part of that campaign. I told you. I will not broadcast on that because it is not tenable. If you tell me that Buhari, for instance, is frail, he's incapacitated, or he's not supposed to be in office, I can argue it. But you can't tell me that Buhari is dead and is replaced by Jibril El Sudani from Sudan, right? And then you want me to come out and be talking about it. I will not do that. And you were bold enough to be telling people, do you know that Uche said he will not say that Buhari is dead? Just imagine. This is an issue of principle. You can't just, force me to do whatever I don't want to do. Something that is my entitlement. The religious bigotry you people try to bring into Biafra struggle has destroyed a lot of lives. And you people are not sincere. You called me names. Biafra must be a free society. Biafra must have religious freedom as a policy because the people of Biafra are people of faith. Multicultural society for that matter. Unless what you are looking for is not Biafra. Biafra of only Igbo people is not the Biafra of 1967 to 70, and that is not what we are restoring. So if there is a new kind of alignment, then we will have to know it, and I agree. But if you are telling me that we are trying to restore Biafra, this Biafra must comprise of the people of the old Eastern region. They are not only Igbos. If they say they don't want to be part of the process, all I know is that this name Biafra, we are not going to jettison it because people have died because of it. People have sacrificed their lives because of it. Millions have died because of it. So Biafra is going to be restored and nobody can stop it. It's simple as that. The time we are in now is the time at which we must embrace the political process in Biafraland. I'm not talking about Nigeria. I'm talking about Biafraland, the territory that we are claiming to restore. That is in a bid to fulfill the international law requirement of us on the formation of effective government. That is just the truth about it. If we ignore it, we are going to go back to it anytime we are ready. That is it. Some people are saying, since Nnamdi Kanu is in detention, why don't you restore Biafra? And the question I'm asking all of you is, why didn't you people restore Biafra? Nnamdi Kanu told you that Biafra will be restored in 2020. Why didn't he restore Biafra? Right? You people have destroyed everything that would have given us Biafra in the real sense of it. You want me to go and clean your mess? I can only talk about your mess with a view to making sure that the heart of the project is insulated. But if it is about the damage, you people have destroyed the Biafra struggle beyond recognition. You've dented it. But we are still struggling for the soul of it. You people will not prevail unless you repent and make amends. Nnamdi is in detention. Why can't you people, give us Biafra? How can we give you Biafra where you say that it is through criminality that you get Biafra? You intimidated everyone in Biafraland. You kill our people. You eat their meat, and you keep on shouting that you are formidable. Men day, men day. You should be ashamed of yourself because you should have been the first one that would have given us Biafra. You said it is through gun running that you get Biafra, criminality. So why didn't you get the Biafra? Why didn't you get it? Biafra is supposed to come in 2020. Why didn't it come? When that could not, you know, could not sell anymore. They said that, oh, the Jewish calendar is different from the Gregorian calendar. They shifted it to April 2021. They declared 14-day fasting. They declared 40-day fasting. They went for 150 days fasting for Biafra to come. Why haven't you restored Biafra? It is not by emotion. It is by practical application of ourselves to the issues that we need to do. Nobody knows when Biafra will be restored. But what we need to do is to make sure that we do everything we can do. The reason why a father gives birth to his son or daughter is for them to be better than they are. The late people's general, General Dimegwu Ojukwu, and his colleagues at the time, and those that have come before us who fought the war, they were in government. They were in charge of our affairs of our people at the time, albeit from the military perspective. But he was in government. That was why he was able to make the minimal contact he made with the outside world and to gain the support of some countries. They fought several decades ago with whatever was at their disposal, and they made inroads. So if all of us here, if we are serious about getting Biafra, we should be better than they are. We should do better than they did. Okay? So if we are serious about getting Biafra the way they did it, we should be more equipped than they are. But this time around, because of arrogance, some people have come up with their propaganda to claim to be more than what they actually are or what. You cannot fight the war that Ojukwu and his colleagues at the time and our uncles and aunties fought with stolen weapons, with stolen AK-47. That is even fading in relevance with reference to contemporary warfare. This time around, the enemy does not necessarily need to put boots on the ground where their targets are. They can use drone millions of miles away and clear everything. But you people are here, IPONC, saying, men there, men there. You steal AK-47 from police and army. And then you're not even using it to fight for the freedom. You use it to kill your fellow human beings, your fellow Biafrans. And not only that you kill them, you eat their meat. What kind of human beings are you people? No conscience. That's what I talk about, conscience. One of them is asking me, do you have conscience? I have conscience. That is why I'm talking about what I'm talking about. But you don't have conscience. That is why you go and kill your fellow human being and eat the person's meat. And you still call yourself a human being. We don't deal with cannibals. We don't deal with human eaters or human eaters of human flesh, albeit the flesh of their own fellow brothers and sisters. The one hiding in Middle East and other parts of the world called China Samoa, who every time issue threats to people, has been responsible for the operations of these criminals. We must tell ourselves the truth. The other one, basket mouth called Darlington, that lied, I have all his videos. At the appropriate time, we will come up with all your lies, which is started last year. Where are all these people, for goodness sake, in the United States of America, the women there who have been, making mouth? Where is Father Odungwangwa? Where are you? You lie. And the lie is going to have unimaginable effect on you. Liars everywhere, making ridicule of the whole struggle. Where are all of you? You are all hypocrites that I told Nnamdi Kanu that all of you are. Because if you are not, you people would have been doing something better, more sophisticated for Nnamdi to come out. There were a group of lawyers here in the United Kingdom that said the other time, and I laughed. They said that they're going to take the case of extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to the ICC, and I laughed. ICC has no jurisdiction to deal with that case. And they actually wrote a petition to ICC and boldly and shamelessly coming out and say they are taking Kenya to ICC or something like that. And people are hailing them, men there. What kind of nonsense is that? Where are those group of lawyers? They say that they are, I don't know what they call themselves in the UK here. Where are they? You people should be ashamed of yourself for giving people false hope. And I must advise all of the people who still have interest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at heart. All of you who are claiming to be disciples and followers of Nnamdi Kanu, stop making his case difficult. Stop even implicating him by what you people are doing. It is unacceptable. It is reckless. It is uncalled for. And then this so-called not fit for purpose DOS of Nnamdi Kanu, the most vocal among them now is Tina Samoru. That guy has destroyed Nnamdi Kanu beyond recognition. The damage he has caused to this case, this ongoing case, is unimaginable. You cannot come out in the open and threaten people and issue instructions as to those to destroy and those not to destroy. And when the time comes, when it backfires, you look for people to sacrifice in order to exonerate yourself. What a coward are you to be doing that? When the time comes, when the chips are down, you people will use people. Now sacrifice mad to save yourselves. Hypocrites. And innocent people are bearing the brunt of all this. And the elders are keeping quiet, pretending as if nothing is happening. When these people continue to do this thing, you come out and say, oh, we don't believe that it is our sons that are doing this thing. It is not IPOB, it is not ESN and all that. But you know that they are the people doing it. And then with all these denials, question we're asking is this: how come that all the people that have been arrested, allegedly arrested for participation in all these crimes, No Fulani man has been arrested. Even if they have been arrested, it is minimal. But 90% of people arrested are all young Igbo men. And then you shamelessly come out in the open and be defending the indefensible instead of dealing with the issue. Identify, acknowledge the issue, begin to deal with it. That is the best way to go. The other time that some of those people were arrested, the people who are eating, kidnapping human beings, the so-called Chinasa came out and they stage managed and arrested somebody and said that it is Fulani. I want to challenge all of you. Provide the video of those people that you arrested. He said he's a Fulani man, he's a Nigerian army person. Provide the evidence, provide the video, let us analyze it. These people can be desperate. You want to shift attention, but you are warned. Are you no longer formidable? Men no more, are men no more there? Men there, men there. They are no more in existence. Aju ife ba aju ife. Unbelievable. The damage you people have caused to Nnamdi Kanu is unimaginable. You people must retrace your steps. Even though he is also part and parcel of this whole thing because he started it inciting violence. You people are not helping matters as it is. We must remain strong. We must remain resolute. We must remain focused and be saying it the way it is. If you don't like it, you change. If you challenge us, we give you evidence. In fact, we don't even need to look for the evidence because it is incontrovertible. The evidence out there are not circumstantial. They are direct evidence, incontrovertible evidence. So you make mockery of yourselves, coming to deny after issuing threats to people, terrorizing everyone, turning our land into a land of terror and horror because you want to elevate Nnamdi Kanu, because you want to make Nnamdi Kanu an emperor. We need to remind you that Biafraland, not to talk of Igbo land, is not an empire. And as such, we don't need emperors. What we need now is collegiate approach to decision making or her-led approach to decision making. It has to be debated, it has to be voted upon, if need be, before we move ahead. No more one man. No more one man-led approach. We debate, we debated, we argue internally before we left IPOB. But the point is that everybody was very careful not to bring the struggle to ridicule by insisting. And most times, now do we want to take over everything? I said, okay, let us keep going. Let us try your own. Then, if it doesn't work, then we must have to do the alternative. And you find that if his own is not working, he wouldn't even allow alternative view. That's the problem. And then you want us to continue like that. For the fact that we want Biafra does not mean that you will capitalize on the sentiment and begin to do everything you want, anything you want, whether good or bad. Every one of us comported ourselves. Nobody has monopoly of nuisance or arrogance. It is because we comported ourselves, we restricted ourselves, we controlled ourselves. That is why we are living in a civilized society today. If everybody will leave him or herself behaving anyhow, then nobody will have opportunity to survive or to even talk to one another. So Mazen Akan cannot just leave himself and other people will be bearing the brunt of his excesses. That is what is happening. He left himself saying anything he likes, and then the people are now bearing the brunt of his recklessness. Just like mmadụ mgba ọrụ etu a mpụta nhapụ onwe m in public na-eme ihe sọrọ m, emechaa ndị ọzọ abụrụ ha nwa ga-ata afụfụ ihe mmeta. That's what Nnamdi is doing. You know that something is wrong. You arrogantly continued in that direction because you believe that no matter what, our people's sentiment on the issue of Biafra will always divide us. There will be people that will support you, and there are people that may say no. You capitalize on that sentiment, and you continued to wreak havoc on people's emotion. Unacceptable. It cannot continue. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Sentiment apart. Let us say what we want to do. Let us scrutinize it. Let it be approved by the generality of our people or majority of our people. It is time for democratic application of ourselves to restoring Biafra. Our people must also collaborate with every other group that have different ideology that actually want to bring Nigeria to her knees. Anything that will bring Nigeria to her knees, we must have to support. But we must also follow the due process. From my own observation and analysis at the moment, Nigeria is a candidate for remedial secession because Nigeria has been imposing all manner of unimaginable human rights abuses, suppression, marginalization on the indigenous populations. And the people, I must say, that have borne the brunt of all this, more of it, are Igbo part of Biafraland. That is why I will continue to say it, whether anybody wants it or not. There are a number of people that are clamoring for the bringing down of the 1999 Constitution in Nigeria. I wish that that is going to be something doable. But if it is not doable before 2023, I will advise the Igbo politicians to continue to push, especially Igbo Nigerian politicians, not Igbo Biafra politicians, to continue to push for Igbo presidency. You cannot leave what belongs to you to another person. By all standards, if we are to apply equity and fairness in this whole thing, within the context of that abominable contraption called Nigeria, every other region have produced civilian president of Nigeria. The exception, the only people remaining are the Igbos, Igbo Biafrans. Therefore, the Igbo politicians, Igbo Nigerian politicians, should continue to push for Igbo presidency. The Biafra agitators from Biafraland must continue to push for Biafra restoration. If the Igbo politicians, Igbo Nigerian politicians, if they cannot if they cannot be allowed to produce the next president of Nigeria, if Nigeria still exists, if 2023 comes and Biafra has not come, or Nigeria has not collapsed, then it is now a more justifiable reason why all of you must join the Biafra Restoration Project. Because by that time, it would have meant that the Nigerian state has gone to an extreme form of operation against a group of people that are part of her citizenry. It would have meant that, or it would have meant that the Igbo part of Biafraland and who are subjugated in Nigerian projects have been disenfranchised systematically, have been systematically and arbitrarily excluded from governance. So, a case of Quebec, for instance, in Canada, provides a clearer example, and even that of Kosovo. International community, United Nations does not they do not prohibit secession. They also do not accept it or approve of it. However, they are against any destruction of the territorial integrity, any attack or aggression against the territorial integrity of any member of the United Nations, any country, especially after the colonization period. However, the court in Canada said that the people of Quebec can exercise their right to internal self-determination, and if they are denied, that they have that right to ask for remedial secession, where their human rights have been trampled upon, where there is extreme denial of internal self-determination, which is voting or being allowed to participate in order to decide their political future. If there are a group of people, ethnic group, those who qualify as a people in any other part of the world who are denied in an extreme fashion the right to internal self-determination, being allowed to participate in the governance of their own country, or to participate in the affairs that affect them politically, to choose their own future, to decide their own future, that such people are entitled through remedial secession to dissociate themselves, to call the sovereignty of that country into question. So that is where the Igbo Nigerian politicians should be heading to. The same thing can happen to other people in different parts of Nigeria. The people of Biafra, those on Biafra platform, pro-Biafra groups, must continue with what they are doing. Then those who believe in Nigeria, especially the politicians, should continue to push for Igbo presidency, because it is the right of the Igbos, it is the turn of the Igbos in Nigeria to produce Nigerian president. If they are denied, then it is a very strong point for them to actually join the pro-Biafra groups, nothing will now be an excuse that they're going to give. If the Igbos are, for instance, denied their right to internal self-determination, which is for them to participate effectively in the governance of a place they call their country, albeit being excluded from vying for the highest office in Nigeria, then that is extreme form of political oppression, in addition to the human rights abuses and human rights violations against our people. So Nigeria is a very, ideal candidate for remedial secession. There is also a scenario that can bring about independence of different component units in Nigeria. If, for instance, ethnic groups from Middle Belt to the Oduduwaland to Biafraland, the one that Ninas are pushing for, if there will be a consensus, for instance, that all of them pull out of Nigeria's federation by calling Nigeria's sovereignty to question, then Nigeria may go the way of Yugoslavia. And then every region will go their own separate ways. But that is going to be difficult for my own assessment, because there is because of the heterogeneous nature of the people that are lumped together in that contraption called Nigeria. Don't you see what the Yoruba group of Ninas are doing? Even though some people are just putting up bold face. It's an example of political betrayal. What happened during Zik and the World War time. So our people must be very, very careful, very, very circumspect. Everything that will bring Nigeria down, we must all support. But we must also not jettison our traditional positions. We can collaborate, we can communicate, we can cooperate and make things happen. Nigeria remains a crime against the indigenous peoples lumped together in that contraption called Nigeria. This is where I will stop at this particular point in time. And we will, of course, continue some other time. I'm just trying to lay some kind of preambles on what one will be doing in the next couple of days and weeks and months ahead. Once again, this is a special and an emergency broadcast. My name is Uche Mefor, and I'm still alive. A lot of people are having heartache. I want to ask you, how will it be when I begin to turn against your leader? Because I'm holding myself. How will it be when I begin to talk about the fact Nnamdi Kanu is dead, he's an impostor and all that? I'm just leaving you people because you don't know what you're doing to yourselves. Look at what you people are doing. Look at the bickering. Look at the level of sabotage. Look at the ridiculous conduct you are putting up to the public. Look at how you're messing up yourselves. You alone will have yourselves to blame. And the consequences of what is happening now and which you are seeing is what you brought upon yourselves because of your lying nature, because of your blackmailing nature, because of your photoshopping nature, sophistry orchestrated by Nnamdi Kanu, and which you people are even doing more than himself. Ọkụziri unu ọrụ, unu localivazie ya ọrụ, ndị ala. I'll be leaving at this particular point in time. May peace be with those who want peace. May progress be the lot of those who want progress. You cannot destroy Uche Mefor. Nobody can. Okay? You will rather destroy yourselves. And as you can see, you're destroying yourselves. And more importantly, we can only die once. For avoidance of doubt. Once again, Merry Christmas to you all men and women of goodwill and prosperous hit-free New Year. My name remains Uche Mefor. Keep fit and God bless.